World War II was a time when the world went through many different changes. It was the start of the Cold War, the end of imperialism by European powers, and the ultimate example of good winning over evil. It was a big boost to the US economy, something that is not focused on a lot about the war is what happened before it. And this is what happened before it. And we're going to start with Germany surrenders, marking the end of World War I. The 1918-1919 German Revolution starts. The German Revolution is crushed by the German government in 1919. The Polish-Soviet War begins. This is the war for Polish independence. The Turkish War of Independence begins. This is over the Ottoman Empire for their independence. All German and Allied powers agreed on the Treaty of Versailles besides the US. The Polish-Soviet War ends with Polish independence because Soviets were distracted by the White Army. Benito Mussolini founds the Italian National Fascist Party. The Washington Naval Conference limits the size of great powers' navies. Turkey beats the Ottoman Empire in the revolution, which marks the end of the Ottomans. The Red Army beats the White Army in the Russian Civil War. Benito Mussolini is Prime Minister of Italy after the March on Rome. The Great Inflation of 1923 destroys the German mark and economy. The Bear Hall Pursuit takes place and Hitler tries to overthrow the German government. Vladimir Lenin dies and Stalin starts killing rivals to rise up to power. Hitler gets 5 years for Bear Hall Purge, serves 8 months though. Fascists win elections in Italy, making them the strongest political party. Hitler's book Mein Kampf is published. Germany joins the League of Nations. Hirohito is the new Emperor of Japan. Shanghai Massacre starts. The Chinese Civil War. Stalin bans Trotsky, making him the leader of the USSR. The Jing Incident starts limited armed conflict between Japan and China. China's Red Army is founded. Herbert Hoover became the president of the U.S. The Great Depression starts in America. The German elections make the Nazi Party the second biggest party in Germany. The Japanese stage a bombing incident in coup, blaming the Chinese for it, which was the cause of Japan invading Manchuria. Hitler was defeated in an election for president of Germany. The fighting between Japan and China stops, with Japan making a puppet state out of Manchuria. Franklin D. Roosevelt is made the President of the United States. Hitler is appointed Prime Minister of Germany because of popular support in the Pacific. The first concentration camp is set up in Germany. It is ww2. Germans are told to boycott Jewish businesses because of Hitler. The Germans start build up the Luftwaffe Air Force in violation of the Treaty of Versailles. The Tengu Truce is signed by China and Japan under the conditions of ceasefire and large demilitarized zone in Germany leaves the League of Nations because of Hitler wanting to. The Austrian Civil War has fascists win Heinrich Himmler is appointed chief of police in the German high rankings. The Night of the Long Knives is carried out, killing most of Hitler's political opponents. Since most Hitler political opponents are gone, the Nazi armed forces pledged oaths to Hitler instead of the Constitution of Germany. Japan renounces the Washington Naval Treaty and the London Naval Treaty, which are both limited the Japan Navy if they were to accept. The Anglo-German Naval Agreement, which limited the navies of Britain and Germany, were signed by both of them, but this would be betrayed by Germany building such ships as the Bismarck, which go against the agreement. Italy invades Ethiopia, beginning the Second Italo-Abyssinian War. League of Nations denounced Italy. Remilitarization of the Rhineland, under which goes against the Treaty of Versailles. Second London Naval Treaty was signed by France, US, and Britain. Italy and Japan declined to sign the treaty. Italy captures the capital of Ethiopia, annexing all of Ethiopia under the treaty. The Great Purge begins with Stalin killing many political opponents, which kills main leaders in the Red Armies, which weakens it for World War II and the Winter War, which is why they saw such failures in the early World War II. The failed Spanish coup resulted by the fascists and Francisco Franco, which starts the Spanish Civil War. The Sunan campaign begins as the Japanese-backed Mongolian troops attack the Chinese garrison. All 10 to 18-year-old Aryans in Germany have to join the Hitler Youth Program. Japan, Italy, and Germany signed the Anti-Comintern Pact against the Soviets. Continental Marshal Yang Zilong kidnaps Chinese leader Chiang Kai-shek in order to compel Continental to make truce with the Chinese Communist Party in purpose of fighting the invading Japanese. The Second United Front is formed between the Chinese Communist Party and Kuomintang, temporarily suspending Chinese civil war for sake of fighting the Japanese. President Roosevelt starts his second term in office. Neville Chamberlain becomes the Prime Minister of Great Britain. The Marco Polo Bridge incident happens in China. This begins the Second Sino-Japanese War. The Battle of Shanghai starts and ends with Japanese naval invasion and the Japanese victory, which opens up the second front to the war on the West Coast. The Rape of Nanking, more properly known as the Massacre of Nanking, starts and ends up killing 300,000 people, with thousands of war crimes occurring in this catastrophic event. Germany annexes all of Austria. This is now known as Anschluss. Japan's troops advance to the Yellow River in China. The Munich Agreement is signed by Germany, France, and the United Kingdom and Italy, but Czechoslovakia is not there, even though it hands over their Sudetenland to Germany. This is exchanged for peace and attempt to appease Hitler. Germany cannot invade the rest of the Czechoslovakia according to this agreement. Columbia University splits the atom for the first time in the U.S. Germany occupies and annexes the rest of Czechoslovakia in violation of the Munich Agreement. The Czechs do not attempt to put up an organized resistance, having lost their main defensive line with the annexation of the Sudetenland. Hitler demands the return of Frisia and Danzig to Germany. France and UK guaranteed the independence of Poland against Germany. The Spanish Civil War ends with a nationalist victory, and Francisco Franco is now. Italy invades Albania and annexes them with little fighting of the Albanians. Germany and Italy signed a Pact of Steel, which is just an alliance between the two. The Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact is signed between the Nazis and the Soviet Union, which secretly provisions the dividing of Eastern Europe between the two powers. German ultimatum to Poland concerning the Polish quarter in the Free City of Danzig. Without response to the ultimatum, Germany invades Poland and begins